power cords and AC regenerators. This question comes from David, down the road a piece south in Colorado Springs. Hey, Paul, I love your company. Why, thank you, sir. And I so enjoyed visiting PS Audio and meeting you and the staff in 2019. You lucky dog. I mean, and we're lucky that you were able to come before the pandemic. It'll happen again. It'll happen again. And by the way, if you have not had the opportunity to come here as David has, do look up on our YouTube channel, which clearly you're on right now. Look up our factory tour. I recommend that highly. It's an hour long, me walking around babbling about this and that, but you can see everything, you know, the room we're in now, everything at PS Audio. So anyway, highly recommended. Here's my question. Since your AC regenerator takes wall AC and recrafts it to make a more perfect sine wave, does this preclude any benefit of replacing its stock power cord with something better, as is so often recommended? For example, would the P12 performance benefit from a power cord improvement? Thanks so much for the videos and the fine products. David in Colorado. Yeah, I know this is not something people like to hear, but power cords do make a difference, even on a regenerator. So let me try and explain why. The stock power cord that we offer with a P12 or any other AC regenerator that we make is known as a courtesy cable. Courtesy cable in that it would really suck to have just bought a new product, set it up and go, oh man, there's no power cord. What are these guys doing to me, right? So we wouldn't do that to you. So we have one that is more than adequate to test it out and see what's happening. It's a 12, I think it's a 12 gauge, and it works great. Any product is a combination of everything on its gazintas and everything on its gazoutas. They don't live as just islands, okay? So for instance, if you have a 12 gauge power cable, like what we offer, and you hook it up to the P12 on its input, you won't have any restriction of the power. But if you take a high-end power cable of the appropriate kind and replace the stock cable, it's going to generally sound better. Why would that be? Well, we have two problems, right? One, we're regenerating new power, so what difference does it make? Two, if the stock cable is adequate, what more does this high power, high-end, expensive cable offer? Okay, so a couple quick answers to that, and I don't have all the answers. So a lot of this is subjective. I can just tell you what I hear, and you can try it for yourself and see. So to the first question, the power plant AC regenerators are not perfect. Nice if they were, but I don't know of anything in this universe that is. So they do a great job. Let's give them a 90%. They take the AC in, they convert it to DC voltage, they regenerate new AC, and life is good. I mean, really good. It really sounds a lot better when you have perfect AC. It's as if you're plugged right into the power plant, 50 feet from your home, which you're not. And it avoids the problem of all those miles of wire, transformers, all that stuff. But it's not perfect. So the better source of power that we can have, even to the extent of your wiring in the walls. Like at PS Audio, we don't just have 12 gauge wiring. We have dedicated runs of 10 gauge wiring. Heavier wire, dedicated runs. There's all kinds of things. There's noise, there's ground issues, there's, it's not simple, an electrical circuit. There's a lot going on that we don't simply see. So the better feed that you have to a power plant, the better it's going to sound, the less noise you're going to have to deal with, et cetera, et cetera. The second thing is that while a stock power cord is adequate, it does not necessarily give you the, I'm going to say, the shortest connection between what's in the wall and what's coming out, and lastly, shielding. So people tend to forget that the stereo system is one of the noisiest places, electrically noisy place in your house. Inside the wall over here, we've got pretty quiet environment, not a lot generating, it's just stuff in the air. As soon as it comes out of the wall and around all this noisy electrical equipment, I mean, well, you don't have this hooked up, but if you did, right? All this stuff from their power supplies, it generates a lot of EMI. And so it's the noisiest place in your house, essentially. So great shielding is really important to make sure that that doesn't get into the power plant in the first place or out of it. And higher end power cables are much better shielded, and that makes a big difference. And because EMI goes down by the square of the distance, by the time it gets to the wall, you don't have a problem anymore. So that's why the wall wire doesn't really matter all that much as long as you have a heavy gauge. Okay, enough babbling. Hope that answers your question. I'll talk to you tomorrow.